Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Follow a Sketch Friday, and I am playing along with Christy with her 30 days of sketches this month. So each Friday I am matching my sketch to hers. So this is the sketch. It's got some great kind of 3x4 things going on, a banner, and a 4x6 photo. I'm already changing it around because my 4x6 photo is not going to be portrait. It is going to be landscaped. So let's see what I can do. Now I already had my color scheme picked out with the plaid and the yellow, but I needed those blocks. So I went ahead and went through my stash of 3x4 cards and found a couple that would work, and then I went ahead and cut one out of that yellow paper. So I have the photo, and the photo is of Space Mountain with the lights on, and I have scrapbooked photos with Space Mountain with the lights on multiple times because we have gone and had it happen multiple trips, and it is a win for our family when that happens. Most people are super disappointed. You hear people go, "Oh," and we're like, "Whoa, yeah, Space Mountain with the lights off or lights on," and I'm like, that's just the way it is in our family. So I went ahead and just placed all of these little guys down, and then I'm going to have my photo overlap 4 of them here. And I chose them to overlap a lot of the lines because I don't have a whole heck of a lot of journaling because, like I said, I have scrapbooked Space Mountain with the lights on many times before, but it's just going to happen. Now I am using my small guillotine trimmer because I am working with the smaller pieces of paper, and that's just something that I find is easier and more comfortable for me with the smaller papers to use the smaller trimmer. Now look at me going and referencing the sketch. Isn't that crazy? Usually I look at it and like do my thing. I really didn't follow this sketch a whole heck of a lot. Like the bones of it are there, but didn't follow the banner, and I just kind of did my own thing. Now I really did like that teal color here with all of the colors that I have going on, but it has silver foil on it, and it just didn't feel right to the page. I don't know if it was because I have the khaki background, but for some reason in my mind I was just like, this doesn't work. I do grab a piece of cocoa vanilla paper because I think that this pink is a good match for the hot pink over on the other side. Well, it better be. That life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful is from the same cocoa vanilla collection, so the color should match. I use my grid mat to go ahead and line up that piece of paper, and then you'll see I think it's a little too thick, so I change it. Now looking at me, I cut off that tiny little strip of paper so that I would be able to layer it up like this. I find that when I am layering pieces of paper like this as a decorative element and they're not mats or big parts of the layout, I really do enjoy different thicknesses layered on top of each other. That way the papers look a little bit more interesting, and you don't really have to like worry about it just being like, if those were all 1-inch strips up there and they were all the same exact length, they wouldn't have as much visual interest on the page. So when you take the strips and you have them as different widths and then you kind of stagger them, it looks much more interesting on your page. And since I wasn't doing the banner, I decided that I needed that. Now, as you can see, I trimmed down that strip over here on the left-hand side. I just felt like it was too thick. I needed a little bit of breathing room between what I had going over on the right-hand side of the page with my photo and then the decoration over here on the left. I toyed with the idea of not having it on there at all, but then I was like, that's an awful lot of khaki on the page, so I feel like this corner needed a little bit of brightening up. So the same thing over here, that I just talked about up at the top where I had different widths of paper is what I've done here as well, and I'm just layering them up so that they are off center. Now for this side, I'm not really going to add anything, but I will add something to the top. I grabbed my Cocoa Vanilla die cuts, and I'm just looking for fun little things that I can add to the page. Now it's not going to be a tremendous amount of fun little things, just because there's a lot going on this page already, just with the 6 3x4 cards of color. And spoiler alert, that camera doesn't stay there either. Now, I thought that this compass would be something fun to add to the page, so I went ahead and did that. And then where it says season pass of fun, I thought that that would be great to layer up with the other ticket and make that happen. So I only found a couple little bits to add to the page, so I go to my handy dandy and trusty florals, and I'm just peeking through and trying to find colors that match what I have going on in the layout. So it doesn't have to be like completely the same, but I want them to be kind of in the same color family. I don't want to go too crazy. And then look at that, I found 2 purple flowers, so those 2 flowers are going into my purple kit, and they're just off to the side right now so that I can add them later. I'm going to go ahead and pop up this floral die cut with a few foam squares, and that's just to give the page a little bit of dimension because I don't have any dimension at all on this page so far. I just got paper layers and nothing is lifted up off the page. Everything is just flat, and that's okay. I do have pages where nothing is lifted whatsoever and they're very flat, and then I have pages that have layer upon layer upon layer. And either way you want to scrapbook is totally cool. If you want to just do it one way, great. If you want to mix and match, great. If you don't know what the heck you want to do and each day is a surprise, every time you scrapbook, hey, like, just hooray for you, you're scrapbooking. So we have that. So the only thing I'm going to do is kind of adjust where I have things. And I really didn't like the way the camera looked up at the top floral anymore. So I'm bringing it down to this cluster by the photograph. And I'm going to add a little bit more because see how that camera is like off to the side and there's a gap between the photo and the camera. I don't like that. So I'm going to fill that in. And I fill that in with a khaki color tag, and I'm just doing that to bring the khaki of the background into the foreground just a little bit, so that it's not just like khaki background. There's a little bit up at the front too, so it feels like a cohesive part of the page. And sometimes you just want your background to be in the background. I mean, that is why it's called a background, but sometimes you want to kind of incorporate it more. And even though it's just one teeny tiny little tag, it does that for me. You might be thinking, Sandy, you crazy pants. If you really wanted to bring the khaki forward, you should have brought the khaki forward. Maybe something I could have done as well was double mat my photo over top of the plaid. So it could have been photo khaki plaid, and that would have brought it forward as well. But that little tag, just, it's enough for me. Makes me happy. So I'm just going to add a couple more florals around the page. I do it with the tickets, and now I have this big old cluster of florals down here. And this is a lot of bright, bold, beautiful decoration for a not so fantastic photo. And that's okay. Your photos do not have to be perfect. We are not all professional photographers. And even if you were a professional photographer and you didn't have a super great photo, it doesn't matter. The memories are being scrapbooked. And I don't care that I've scrapbooked about Space Mountain with the lights on multiple times. It has happened multiple times, and they are memories that I want documented. So that's what's going to happen. I mean, if you guys have been around my channel for any length of time, you'll also see that I scrapbook a lot without, well, I won't say a lot, but I scrapbook without photos. and write a memory down because I want the memory. Like, I want to remember the memory. So that's what we do. Now, I do grab these Pink Fresh chipboard medallion things. Chipboard flare, I think is what they call them. And I grabbed that yellow kind of succulent looking floral one, and I just put it in the center of the compass. I just wanted another pop of that yellow. So I have basically the yellow in 3 places. It's the top floral cluster, the left floral cluster, and then down here now, like it's a bigger part of the bottom floral cluster. And each of the floral clusters have yellow behind them. I really wanted to use that scenic route sticker because, you know, Space Mountain with the lights on, scenic, but it didn't make it onto the page. There wasn't really a good place for it. Everything was so boxy and so linear, and that was kind of like a brush stroked background to that sticker. It just didn't feel right using it. So I do grab some glittery type, they're not really enamel dots, they're like little puffy dots. I don't know what brand they are, whatever, but they're just stapled to my Glitter Girl glittery enamel thing. So I'm filling in the florals, and then I do write a little bit of journaling on the 2 3x4 cards there. And then that is going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to click the links down below for everyone who is participating today for Christy's 30 days of sketches for today. And I will see you guys again real soon for another video.